and it puts people, from the point of view of a media consumer, as somebody who's been in the media for a long time, I think of how the audience looks at this, and to me, they're now looking at the news the same way that the Soviets that I knew when I was a student looked at Soviet media. They're reading between the lines. They're trying to figure out what these messages mean. Why was it not okay yesterday to talk about this, but it is okay today? Does that mean they've discovered a new danger? Is this danger more real than the previous one? It's very unsettling for people to not be in on what the discussion is. And that's really what this thing that we ended up calling the censorship industrial complex is about. It's about creating a two-tiered system where there are a group of institutions that should be sort of policing each other, but instead they've banded together and they have become the gatekeepers for information. They're deciding collectively in secret what gets to be seen more and what's going to be seen less. And they're amassing an ever-increasing amount of outgroups who are just not privy to the real information. And, why is this important? I think in a democracy, you need to have what one colleague of mine calls dynamic tension between all these liberalizing institutions in order for democracy to work. The media has to act as a check on government. Government has to be separate from industry. Industry has to be separate from civil society institutions. Civil society institutions can't be meeting too much with uncivil institutions. It was a big shock for my colleague Andrew Lowenthal, having worked at a civil society institution, to see that there were NGOs that 5 years ago would have called themselves civil society institutions, meeting for election tabletop exercises with people from the Pentagon and West Point. As he put it to me, civil society means not the military. They're not supposed to be meeting with one another. Homogeneous political concept where everybody is sort of on board about what the boundaries of acceptable thought are, and they're increasingly leaving everybody else out of the tent.